think about the topics that I'm going to be talking about, and you know, kind of solidifying kind of what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it and stuff like that, right? And I seen an awful lot of this sort of discourse on TikTok, and all but one of them had their kind of stitch and shares off, so you couldn't kind of react to the video. You like could of course kind of green screen it, but it's a anyway. We're going to be talking about the ceasefire first. Okay, we're going to be talking about the ceasefire first, because do it in order of what's kind of happened over the last kind of couple of days since my last stream. It's a recurring theme though that we're going to be kind of talking about, and that is that Trump is either giving himself credit or people are giving him credit for things that he didn't fucking do. Like, he just straight up did not do. So, in relation to the ceasefire bill, it's phase 2 of the ceasefire bill that Biden kind of brought into effect, or he first announced that he was going to be doing this in May of last year. Biden announced that he was going to do a 3-phase plan. And phase 1 was kind of, they were already at the starting point of phase 1. Now, it's taken quite some time for them to get to bringing phase 2 into it. Now, the reasons why they have been taking so long to bring phase 2 into it is, despite what the media will tell you, Israel has not agreed to almost a single part of it. The people in Gaza, Hamas, have agreed to ceasefire deals. They have agreed to every single point of this process since Biden first announced it. I think it was only hours, or maybe it was a day after Biden first announced that this plan was going to be happening. They basically said, yeah, absolutely, let's fucking do it. But it was Israel, it was Benjamin Netanyahu who was kind of holding this up at every single fucking turn. He was always constantly saying, no, we're not going to do it, or just, you know, pushing, like, doing something to stop phase 2 of this plan coming in. Now, just before anybody fucking says anything, am I saying that Trump had zero involvement? No, I'm not saying that he had zero involvement. He had his own kind of would-be investigator or would-be kind of diplomat that was going there and was talking to both sides, or was trying to get the kind of process moving along and stuff like that. And then, you know, he also said some very harsh words that, you know, there was going to be hell to pay in the Middle East and whatever else. Am I saying that I am under any sort of delusion that did nothing? No, I'm not. What I am also saying is that I am willing to give Trump 10% credit. And that's probably being generous. Like, make absolutely zero fucking bones about this, guys. Trump is not the reason why the ceasefire deal in Gaza happened. He's absolutely not. To say that he is to take away a genuinely good thing that Biden did, and that Biden was responsible. Look, am I happy with how Biden has dealt with this in its totality? No. Of fucking course not, I'm not. But am I saying that this is an objectively good thing that he got fucking done? Yes. Absolutely. It should have happened an awful lot sooner. Biden should have put a shit ton more pressure on Israel to sign on to phase 2 of this deal, and maybe we would be even in phase 3, if not, like, you know, had this situation completely dealt with before even the last election. Because I guarantee you, if they had done that, the election very may well have turned out differently. So, you know, is it... The fact that people are trying to give Trump credit for this, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Look, guys, I've talked about Israel and Palestine on my channel before. I have done debates on Israel and Palestine with Kay Fellows on Modern Day Debate. I might have that linked in the description a little bit later. Or you can go onto my channel because I had it mirrored there. I am unbelievably fucking passionate about this issue, and it's simply just because I am Irish. Obviously, look, like, it is only a benefit that I'm a humanist, that I'm a humanitarian, that I care about the betterment of people. I'm anti-fucking genocide. It is there's a lot of kind of other reasons, we'll say, but it is mainly because I am Irish. It is so, like, I can't tell you how unbelievably lucky the vast majority of people are, the vast majority of other countries are, that they have absolutely zero iota of what it is like to live under occupation from a different country. I don't personally, but it is in the bones, it is in the history of my country. We were under British occupation for so long, and even the history on why or on how they treated us is, I don't necessarily want to say whitewashed, but is just, like, parts of it are just fucking made up. Like, it was taught to us that, like, oh, that there was, like, a bacteria or a disease that got into the crops here. And that's why, and, you know, it whittled it down to that we could only eat potatoes. And then the disease got into that, and then that's what caused the famine. No, that's absolutely not what fucking happened. The British stole our crops. They poisoned our supply of the remaining food, which caused the Great Famine. So Irish people have an understanding, at least historically. It's in the bones of our country. We know what it is like to live under occupation, to have an occupying country starving you, not allowing aid from different countries, food, medicine, healthcare, to come in from other countries. We know what that's like. So I am unbelievably passionate about this issue. This should have been solved fucking decades ago. Now that's, listen, a little bit of that is kind of pie in the sky, kind of, you know, wishful thinking. But at least this should have, like, this should not have gone on nearly as long as it has. The events of October 7th, I have heard about this magical date. Now, there's very little information about what happened on that day, but, you know, I've heard some reports of what's happened on that day. This did not start on October 7th. Israel and Palestine have been feuding for like 75 years, possibly even more than that. This has been going on for so fucking long, and it's only now that when something massive happens, that the world starts to pay attention. But I guarantee you, though, it's not just that the world kind of looked at what was happening in Gaza, but an overwhelming majority of people are now kind of switched on to, hang the fuck on, Israel's committing a genocide there. I'm not going to say that I was one of the fucking, like, other people that knew about this issue long ago. I'll be totally fucking straight up and transparent with you guys. I didn't. Not because I didn't fucking care, but it was just because it wasn't I mean, like completely and utterly wrongly, and I mean the media is just like, even if it was just this issue alone, which it absolutely isn't, but even if it was just this issue, they have done the people such an overwhelming fucking disservice in not accurately reporting on what's actually happening here. We knew almost instantly when it was Ukraine via Russia. We knew almost instantly about what was happening there. Why didn't we know about Israel and Palestine? There was some people who knew. There was some people who knew. Some people who knew that like this was. But I'm talking about, like, this is in the forefront of everyday conversation, where absolutely everybody knows about it. You can't honestly tell me that, like, this was talked about at the fucking kitchen table when you were catching up with, like, friends or family. When, like, current events kind of make its way into the conversation. You can't tell me 2 years ago that people were talking about is that, like, that they were talking about Israel and Palestine. You can't tell me that, because it just wasn't happening. The media has done an unbelievable fucking disservice about talking about this, and you know, they absolutely share an awful lot of the blame here. But to say, I want to kind of share a screen with you guys, because so there he is. There's the man himself. There's Biden. This is dated June 1st, 2024. Was updated 8 months ago, right? So on Friday, May 31st last year, laid out a oh my god, no, go back. Laid out a 3-phase ceasefire proposal from Israel to Palestine Islamic group Hamas to end the war in Gaza that has killed tens of thousands and caused a humanitarian crisis. The order calls for a ceasefire to release all Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners and the reconstruction of Gaza. Right? Phase 1. Ceasefire, limited hostage release, and Israeli withdrawal. So Biden said in the first the first phase of Israel's offer would last for 6 weeks and would include a full and complete ceasefire and will withdraw from Israeli forces from all populated areas of Gaza, and the release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly women. Blah, blah, blah. That's fine, right? Biden added that in this phase, Palestinian civilians will return to their homes and neighborhoods in all areas of Gaza, while humanitarian assistance will increase 600 trucks carrying aid into Gaza every single day, right? That's all fucking wonderful. Phase 2, that's what's going into effect right now. So phase 1 was like, even the baby steps, even the introduction to phase 1 was happening in May of last year. It's only now that phase 2 is happening, which is the release of all hostages. Now, there has been a little bit of update. Obviously, this article is 8 months old, but there has been other articles now where prisoners from both Palestine and Israel are now being released, and that's all fucking. So phase 2 is starting. It is 100% starting. Biden calls the second phase a permanent end to hostilities. However, he added that the negotiations to arrive at the second phase will take longer than 6 weeks, and there is going to be differences between the two sides. Yes, of course. Now, I have seen an awful lot of other people who were kind of saying, like, oh, well, why did this take so long? That it was introduced back in May. Why is it only happening now? Because there are 2 other fucking groups involved, you ignorant fucking dope. Like, what? Like, in what fucking world are people living in where they think that this is just gonna fucking happen at the blink of a fucking eye? There are 2 other groups involved, you morons. Of course this wasn't going to happen in the blink of a fucking eye. Biden is saying there that it's going to take longer than 6 weeks. Now, should it have happened before? Now? Absolutely. But at least there is, like, like, there's acknowledgements ahead of time that this is not just going to happen straight away. It's not just going to be a fucking blink and you'll miss it and phase 2 is implemented. Israel will want to make sure that its interests are protected while the proposal says the negotiations will take longer than 6 weeks from phase 1. The ceasefire will continue for as long as negotiations continue, Biden said, which will mark a new development from previous proposals. So let's go into phase 3, which is the reconstruction and bodies returned. In the third phase, Biden said that a major reconstruction plan for Gaza would commence, and any final remains of hostages who have been killed will be returned to their families. Biden said that Israel has devastated Hamas forces over the past eight months, adding that at this point Hamas is no longer capable of carrying out another October 7th. I don't know what happened on that day. People keep talking about October 7th. I mean, like, maybe you guys in the comments can fill me in. You know, like, it's weird that one date just keeps popping up. In the deal to rebuild Gaza, Arab nations and the international community will also participate in a manner that does not allow Hamas to rearm, Biden said. He added that Washington will work with its partners to rebuild homes, schools and hospitals in Gaza, where the war has displaced nearly the entire 2.3 million population and caused widespread hunger. Which is okay. This is all in quotes, right? All of this is all in quotes, which is fair enough. But for some reason, Biden doesn't absolutely fucking specify. He doesn't go into detail, doesn't go into, like, you know, back that up by saying, yeah, it was Israel, by the way, who forced people into widespread hunger, who stopped aid from coming in. It was always Hamas. They were always the fucking bad guys, whatever else. Listen, I am not saying that there is one completely innocent party and there is one completely guilty party. That is not even remotely what I am saying here. But at the same time, guys, you I mean, like, a fucking blind man can see that there was a genocide that there was a genocide being enacted by Israel towards Palestinians. So, but yeah, I mean, like, this was all Biden's plan. This was Biden's plan that he outlined in May of last year. May. And now, because it's finally happening a couple of days before Trump is to take office again, Trump is getting the credit. Why on earth would he be getting the credit? He was not part of the negotiations. He was not part of the drafting of this of the 3-phase plan. He was not part of any of it. He wasn't even confirmed to be the presidential nominee in May of last year. He hadn't started a single fucking debate. The first debate against Biden was at the end of June. I mean, this is ridiculous. To say that that he had any involvement with this at all. Sure, he said that he was going to take over, and he said that he was going to, you know, that, like, he was going to work as well to try and end this. 100%. That's absolutely fine. And as I said, I will give him his 10% credit, but that's all I'm going to give him. And as I also said, 10% is probably still too fucking generous. So the idea that he had any fucking role in this, that he has any credit above 10%, to be thanking Trump and to be leaving Biden out of the conversation, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's insane. And when he was asked about this, when he was doing a press conference, Biden, when he was doing a press conference about this, and a reporter asked him, who is to take credit here, you or Trump? And he turned around and he gave us one last meme on his way out the door, and he said, is that a joke? 100% I completely fucking agree with him. Is that a joke? Are you actually kidding me? Of course it was Biden. Of course he should get the fucking credit, because whether or not